Brittany. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're back.
Thank you.
So how have things been going this past week?
They've been okay. Just continuing to try to stay strong for my kids and try to act like there's nothing going wrong. It's been a little difficult, but I see the light. I know that good things can come. I just need to get there, and I just really want to make my kids safe.
Yeah, I can't imagine how overwhelmed you must be feeling right now. It sounds like it's been pretty difficult, but
Yeah.
I'm so happy to hear that you are seeing the light, as you
Yeah.
put it. That's awesome to hear. So before we kind of get into that, I wanted to talk about what we've done our past two sessions, so we can kind of inform what we're doing today. Today is going to be all about goal setting. So last time I asked you a lot of questions. We kind of had an interview. I asked you about your history, what you wanted to work on. We talked about goals briefly, but we're going to go more in depth today. And then the first time we met, we talked about confidentiality, clinic policies, things like that. Did you have any questions about anything we've gone over in the past?
I don't think so. I think I'm okay right now.
Okay. So to start off, last time towards the end we talked about your three main goals, and you listed those as legal services, so getting a divorce from your husband, but overall you wanted to prioritize the safety of your kids. You also talked about maybe seeking treatment for anxiety and PTSD, as well as maybe looking into going to school in the future. Do those sound right?
Yeah, and I think right now I really want to focus on the getting the divorce aspect, and then more than anything keeping my kids safe. I think that's kind of that goal I had last time, but also really making sure that my kids are safe through the process too.
And that makes total sense. I know moms are always looking out for the safety of their kids, so that's definitely a great goal to work towards, and we'll focus on that today and make that our priority. So I guess let's think about kind of what we can do. Do you think maybe developing an emergency plan in the meantime while you're seeking a divorce with your husband would be a good place to start? I know you mentioned that your kids have never really been involved when he's come home, but I just wanted to be sure that you had something in place. So does that sound like a good place to start?
Yeah, because my neighbor is great. Her and her family are great, but I don't want to always have to rely on my neighbor to kind of help us out. I want to be able to have another way to make sure my kids are safe too.
Okay. So I think it might be a good idea for both of us to think about maybe where we could start for that emergency plan. I could make a list of some emergency resources that I know of. Off the top of my head, I can think of True North and Children's House as places to go if things get really bad. I know you mentioned that your husband hasn't been at home or around, but I just want to make sure if he does come back that we have something we can kind of work on. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, so during that time, I will be available to you if you want to check in with me. Do you think it would be realistic for us to talk on the phone 1 or 2 times a week until your divorce goes through, just to make sure that you're feeling safe?
Yeah. If I need you any more than that, can I still call you even if it's already been 2 times?
Yeah, definitely. I will be available by the phone. I know your children's safety is a big priority for you, and your safety is also a priority for me, and I want to make sure that if you need anything, we're still around for you even outside of our regular business times. So do we want to say just baseline, we'll check in 2 times a week,
That sounds
and
good.
then we'll meet for your regular weekly sessions. And then in terms of legal assistance, is there anywhere you want to start with that that you've heard of, or
I just don't really know where to go.
Okay. So after you mentioned it to me last week, I did find Mid-Missouri Legal Services, and they do offer low cost or free legal service depending on need. So you would have to fill out an application over the phone. It takes about 15 minutes.
Okay.
And depending on where you think you'll have the time, or if that's something that you want to do in session next week, we can work on that.
Okay.
So I would say, do you think we could get that application done by our next session?
Yeah, I think that would work, yeah.
And you can definitely contact me if you have any questions, or if there are further things that they ask you that maybe you're not sure, or other things you need to assemble before you access those legal services. So I will definitely check in with that and maybe find some backup services just in case they don't have room right now, because I know you're looking to do that soon.
Yeah.
So legal proceedings can take a while. Is there anything else that you think we should work on before then?
What does the legal assistance, is that gonna help my kids too? Like, can they help me with my kids and making them safe as well?
Yes, they do assist with custody, especially in cases where abuse has been present. So I think a good first step is getting that emergency plan and kind of those resources assembled just in case, and then we'll continue to work towards your divorce. So in terms of that goal, we just want to make sure we do it in a timely manner so it can get started. Do you think so we can plan on by next session we'll have that initial we'll have the initial application filled out? That sound good to you?
Yeah.
Okay. And so in a perfect world, after we meet for our scheduled 10 sessions that we have upcoming, we can extend those. I know initially we just wanted to work towards that divorce and see maybe if we could get that finalized within our sessions. What would you picture your life looking like, and how do you picture things being after this?
I definitely am looking forward to not having to worry about the safety of my kids anymore. I'm hoping that with a divorce that my kids can be safer and that I don't need my neighbor to help me all the time, and just kind of hope to get that autonomy back to where my kids and I can be happy again.
Yeah, and that makes total sense, to want that independence, and we'll definitely continue to work on those goals to get you toward that point. And given the goals that we have set during this session, how confident do you feel that we'll be able to complete those by next week?
I think that we can. I definitely think that I feel confident that we can do that.
Okay, that sounds great. I feel like we've covered a lot of ground, so just one more time, I'm going to go through those goals with you that we set. So I know legal stuff is kind of over here, but our number one priority is your children's safety and of course your safety. So I will work on assembling those emergency resources numbers for you, and then if you bring any ideas you have about kind of an emergency plan, maybe if you feel comfortable talking with your neighbor about that, that's something you could do before next session. And then we will check in with each other 2 times a week until you feel safe in your situation or that divorce is finalized. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah.
And then for our second goals, we will get that application filled out by next week and kind of work towards getting everything finalized so that you can be permanently safe in that situation, because I know it's really overwhelming and frightening for you. Yeah, so is there anything else that you want to add to today?
No, I think we went over a lot, and I think it was really helpful, so I don't think I have any questions.
Okay, well thank you so much for coming in. I will definitely be in contact over the phone, and we'll continue to work towards those goals.
Thank you for all of your help. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. I will see you next week.